grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety splicket, go watch a movie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Go Watch a Movie, episode 171. Gonna start things off by saying it's a new day here at Go Watch a Movie. The show's growing. The website is anew. You guys are the first to hear it live. The website has been revamped, remade, redone, all that jazz. Go check it out. GoWatchAMovie.com. And there will be a contest posted tomorrow on the socials, so stay tuned to those. Big money, big prizes. You'll love it. Only one of those is true. Today's movie. Oh, and I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Sorry about that. Just a random guy throwing pitches at you. But today we're doing King Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus King Kong, I think it is labeled. I think it's considered the third of the Godzilla franchise. But before we get into that, a little bit of entertainment news. Sylvester Stallone. Hey, yo, I'll ride a Rocky, maybe I won't, Sylvester Stallone has brought up a Rocky prequel series. Apparently, it's something he's been working on. He posted on his Instagram a bunch of scrabbles. But I have tons of notebooks like this, so I understand it's just a bunch of doodles and words and videos of like characters and plots, and basically an outline of this Rocky prequel that he wants to make. And I think he actually posted a script today to make it a little clearer for people. But something that he's been working on, and I'm sure it's going to get greenlit, even though it's in very early stages, just his treatment for it. I bet networks are already foaming at the mouth for a Rocky prequel series. He said, this may be my strangest posting yet. I started out this morning by writing a treatment for a Rocky prequel for streaming, ideally 10 episodes for a few seasons to really get the heart of the characters in there. Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was, if it came out, hey, yo, I'm done with Rocky. I think I said all I had to say with that character. It's Creed's time now, but apparently that's not the case. What do you think, sir?
I think he should pass the torch. I think it's time. Because, for one, if I saw a prequel, I would kind of want to see him in it. And, he doesn't look like he used to look. He's kind of aged, so he can't play himself. And I don't want to see somebody else playing Rocky. Rocky, to me, is still, Sylvester Stallone. That's it.
Yeah, that's going to be the extremely odd part right there. You're 100% right there. Somebody else as Rocky would suck.
Yeah.
Like, nobody can do Stallone, not even me. And I try to do that. But yeah, it's just it would be extremely weird, and I don't know. I already don't like it. You ruined it for me. Thanks. I already don't like it.
No, I don't think it's gonna work for me. I'm sure it would be like well written and a good story. It just wouldn't feel right.
Because he's a great writer. The Rockies speak for themselves, and some of his other ideas speak for themselves, and some against. But for the most part, he is a great writer. So I'll watch it. I'll check it out. It's just gonna be weird not seeing him as Rocky. Maybe he'll play Rocky's dad or something.
They need to wait 20 years or something where the technology is so good that they could just make him young again, digitally. And so
I bet they could do that now.
It might be more expensive now, though. I don't know.
True. Because I heard somebody just one company, I forget what it was buying up a bunch of people's likenesses to do just that. When they die, they can still use them in as CG limbs,
Yep.
But yeah, I hear you. I mean, look at the Luke at the end of Mando. Like a lot of people were pissed about it, said it was hideous, but I was like, that's pretty much.
Yeah, didn't look totally bad. No.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. Moving on here. So we normally don't do gossipy stuff, but I guess sometimes we do. But this is Emma Watson of Harry Potter fame. So apparently Seth Rogen, who I adore these days because he's just super busy and puts out some great work, producing some great stuff. He I guess in the interview said he misquoted himself by saying Emma stormed off a set doing one of the scenes on This Is the End. Have you seen This Is the End?
Yes.
Crazy movie, insane about the end of the Royal Rapture, and her part was pretty insane. It was, they accidentally insinuated that they were going to rape her.
Mm-hmm.
So, apparently, there was a scene that got pretty ad-libby, and she was offended. But she didn't storm off. Seth came back and corrected because it was flying around everywhere that she stormed off the set. And, once you hear something like that, even though that movie's God knows how old now, right. People latch to it. So he came out and, wrote a big note saying, you know what? It's not the truth. She didn't storm off the set. What happened was she pulled me aside and said, you know what? I'm not comfortable with this, like very professional, like. And so they said, we will do something different. We apologize. And she professionally works through it because she still ended up in the movie. So, it's just crazy how, the gossipy things can spread like that. And I don't know. I enjoy that movie a lot more than I probably should. But because it's very, very, very offensive to some, I think.
Yes.
There's nothing really to, really dive into on that one. I just thought that was cool of him to come out and be like, you know what? She's not that an angry person who's just gonna entitled and storm off a set. She pulled me aside and did it the right way because he didn't have to do that. He could let that story roll. That will bring us to trailers. You first for me, sir.
Go right ahead.
The Suicide Squad. Not technically, I guess technically is a sequel because of the Harley Quinn and other recruiting lady and the guy who played an Altercart when. So technically, it is a sequel, just with an all different cast other than those three. Sure.
I have no idea what's going on.
Have you seen this trailer yet?
Yes.
So we have a whole new cast. It's very hilariously set up. They're gonna bust out Harley Quinn, and then go on to do this dangerous mission that none of them might come back from. Sly's in it as a shark, as King Shark. Idris Elba, Harley Quinn's back, and a host of others. And it's from a director writer that I really love, James Gunn. So I know he's gonna do something amazing with it. This looks fun. They get there, about to bust her out. She pops out, and I can go back in, and you guys can break me out if you want. Yeah, it's fantastic. There's a part at the end of the trailer where she's like, "I love rain. It's like angels are choosing on us." I'm just so looking forward to it. Made me giddy, and I bet my other trailer's going to come back to me. What about yours, sir?
All right. Well, mine is something I usually don't go for. I do like Jason Statham, but I don't think he's like
really.
He's not my go-to.
You're going to do this one?
Yes, but I saw Guy Ritchie, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this one. I'll give it a shot. And I first started to watch the trailer. I'm like, well, he looks exactly like he always looks in every single movie, you know. And so I was kind of bored with it. But then the story started to develop, and I'm like, well, holy crap, this actually looks good. It's called Wrath of Man, and basically, this guy, you don't know it at first. He's basically just joining this crew that drives around the armored trucks, you know, when they take money from here to there. And I guess he's kind of a badass, and you know, nobody really knows it until the armored truck gets hit for the first time, and then he gets like, "I'll take care of this," and that gets out, and he just, you know, basically kills everybody with one shot. So you're kind of like, okay, just another one of those, you know, typical action movies. But then it goes on to the story, which is, you know, it's almost like he's wanting these armored trucks to get hit because like he's searching for something or somebody. And then you find out later on in the trailer that I think it's his family gets killed or doesn't make it, and he gets put in the hospital, and then, you know, they can't solve the case, and he thinks it's an inside job. So he starts, you know, doing whatever he's doing, training, gets good, and then gets hired. So he's like going to try to do in a couple of weeks what was taking them years to not, you know, to be able to solve the crime. So it looks really interesting to me just because of that story twist. And the action actually looks kind of cool too. I don't want to say John Wick like, because it's not that, but it's a different kind of style. It's not like, you know, like bullets flying everywhere. It's like simple. He just walks in, you know, a couple shots and he walks out. You know, it just seems like it's simpler. So I don't know. I kind of like the look of that. So I'm kind of excited for this one. It's Wrath of Man.
Yeah, that one shocked me because I know your opinions on Mr. Statham, and I was in shock did not help that. But yeah, have you? This is gonna sound like a pornographic question, but it's not. You've seen Snatch, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's those two's first time working together, which was amazing movie, and I love Guy Ritchie. He's pretty nice, but yeah, I like this trailer a lot. It looks fantastic. Now we have Godzilla versus King Kong. In this corner, weigh something tons. He breathes lightning, fiery stuff, and has spikes on his back. The roper dope Godzilla. This is the corner. He's sporting a new goatee and some gray fur with a couple extra scratches. I don't know how much he weighs, but I bet it's a ton because you see those abs. King the banana eating Kong. Watch about if you would not mind.
Kong and his protectors undertake a perilous journey to find his true home. Along for the ride is Jar, an orphaned girl who has a unique and powerful bond with the mighty beast. However, they soon find themselves in the path of an enraged Godzilla as he cuts a swath of destruction across the globe. The initial confrontation between the two titans, instigated by unseen forces, is only the beginning of the mystery that lies deep within the core of the planet.
Thank you, Watchbot. I should have Watchbot say all that. I don't think he could have done it with as much excitement, though. Where to begin? So I went back, like I do sometimes when we do movies deep in a series, a franchise. I rewatched the other ones, which may have been a bad thing in this instance, because I enjoyed the thought put into the original three movies. I thought they did a fantastic job of delivering us a deeper story with mystery, intrigue, excitement. We got this Monarch Corporation. Ooh, who are they? We have the discovery of these a broke Monarch Corporation. I should throw that in, which will come up later. Discovery of these creatures, and all of them. We get deeper and deeper into the story, and we're finding out more and more about them. They mentioned some other stuff in there, but it's not, the forefront. And the main thing about those three is, yes, giant creatures are attacking the world. Yes, there is a super organization that knows about them and tries to handle them, but it still feels grounded. It still feels grounded in our world where you can still say, oh man, that might happen. And I enjoyed that. But now we come to Godzilla versus King Kong. And something happened here. Something flipped on its head, and we lost all sanity. So I was like, you know what? All that other stuff is fine, but I want to make a B movie, a sci-fi B movie with a loose plot and just kind of toss away everything else. Those are my thoughts, my initial thoughts on this one. What about you?
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of this. I know they're popular characters, and I liked the action scenes. I liked seeing them fight. The visuals were great, but it just felt like a summer blockbuster, and usually those are like, just shells with, stuff on the outside, but there's nothing on the inside. There's just no substance. It's just the human stories were just not
slapstick.
They just not good enough for me. I mean, they didn't even really connect the two parties. There's like two stories going on, and the one story with the girl from Godzilla didn't really do anything. I mean, if you were to literally cut that out, the only thing it really does story wise is it introduces you to Mecha Godzilla, and that's basically it. Because otherwise they do absolutely nothing, except for she runs and meets her dad at the end, and that's it. I mean, there was no point for them to be there. The other little girl, yes, she had a purpose because she was communicating with Kong, and also Kong didn't really have to. They didn't have to take Kong through this whole Hollow Earth thing. That was completely pointless. They didn't need to follow him. They knew exactly where they were going. They already knew, so they could have just gone in there and did what they had to do and come out. So I don't understand. Like some of it just is ridiculous. Visuals were great, but story-wise, it was ridiculous. And I almost wish they had just made this movie. They had cut out Godzilla and they cut out Kong and Mecha Godzilla, and they just made a sci-fi whatever that was, because that would have actually been halfway interesting if they just would have took the two big ones out.
Because that's what this felt like to me. Somebody wanted to make a sci-fi adventure, but they guised it with the fight that everybody wanted to see. Yeah. And like it didn't make any like we get lost here from the start when you first see even Kong, because it's like this is our first time seeing him since Skull Island, and apparently they've got on the island and sectioned it off, and
it makes no sense. Like, how could they have built that around him?
There's a Kong whisperer. Yeah, he would have been like going crazy.
Yeah,
they would have had to knock him out for a long time to build that facility on that island. And what the fuck happened to the indigenous people?
Yeah, and he knew he was in it though, because he throws us like a tree spear at the ceiling because he knows he's in a thing. But he's like, I would leave because he's big enough to do it. I don't know why he stays in there, unless it's just because of the girl who was talking to him and he was communicating with her.
But she couldn't have been there the entire time,
right?
She was a young little girl.
Yeah, it's true.
What the fuck is going on with this? I was so confused from the start. Like, why is Kong in this thing that they and then they just threw it? And I will go ahead and say this. Yes, I was rooting for Kong, so I'm a little butthurt on that. But I'm not being biased for this movie. That doesn't have anything to do with what I'm saying about this movie.
I'm butthurt. I'm butthurt.
That's why I said this felt like a third Godzilla movie. As opposed to a Godzilla versus Kong. But they did not lie. They held true to what they said. There will be a winner. They kept saying that. And there was. So we get that whole issue. Then we get, in my opinion, a very shitty way to turn Godzilla to the bad guy. Like, and it's just an accidental thing. Like they don't probably realize that every time they activate the thing, he goes crazy because he's the apex predator. Even though they should, because they repeat it a shit ton of times in the movie. He hunts them down. Yeah, my brain hurts because, like I said, the other one, the first Godzilla, even Skull Island, like we got this cool story of this protector of the people and this vengeful war vet who did nothing but he didn't really have anything else but war. So this going to this thing and meeting this new opponent to him was so important to him. And then the introduction of Monarch, which they start off having to beg for money to go and do this expedition. So that is kind of crazy. That was 1979 in the story. So it's kind of crazy to see where they ended up in this only 3 years after Godzilla King of Monsters, which was set in 2019. Just throwing those dates out there. Do your research if you want to about how you can leap from what happened in Godzilla King of Monsters to the technology in this one in 3 years. I don't see it happening, but whatever. But yeah, and then we go to that to this, and I could be, reading too much into it. I think you were right. They made a summer popcorn movie, a summer blockbuster. Just they were like, we want to make it easy for people to watch, so we're gonna have a couple kids in there running around doing stuff. We're gonna have a goofy guy who it's fun. Yeah,
I liked the podcaster. I thought his lines were some of the best in the entire movie for me.
The crazy podcasters are cool.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, he was fun, but it's like you said, we didn't need that at all. Yeah. We did not need that at all. Godzilla attacking that facility, us seeing the eye, all of that was enough to let us know they were up to no good. And let's talk about Apex. Let's talk about this fucking company that after a monster attacks you, you don't do anything. You don't have any guards, even though you're still building a giant fucking creature down there. Mm-hmm. You don't have any guards between your Florida facility all the way to Hong Kong. You have a total of 2 fucking guards. Are you kidding me?
No sense at all.
They just walked in there and did everything. Stumbled upon your ultimate creation. What?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm hugging this.
This was a mess. I agree with you. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, it was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. I like I said, the visuals were great, but fights were fun, and I think that's all they were going for. They're like, we're just gonna give you that. So if you're going to this movie looking for some kind of substance, it's just not going to be there because that's not what they were making. They were going for just.
But the other 3 did have some substance.
Yeah, they did, but this one just some of the, like I said, podcaster was great. I'm kind of mad that they cast what's his name, Julian from Deadpool 2, the kid.
Oh yeah,
because it's like, why would you use the same like? It's pretty. I mean, if you've seen Deadpool 2, you know what kid I'm talking about. Yeah. And it's like, aren't there other child actors out there just dying for a part? But you use somebody so familiar that I just think of the other movie. Like, I almost wish I was watching the other movie instead of watching this one. It's just kind of weird to me that they keep using the same people. It's like, there's so many people out there that want a shot. Get some new people in there so we're not just looking at the same folks. I know Hollywood is a big place. There's lots of people out there. Come on.
It's a massive place.
I did like what happened to the daughter of the evil, guy from Apex. I did like what happened to her because, like, why would you be flying your little machine and want to move Kong and say, shoot him? What do you think Kong is going to do? He's going to be like, oh, let me get out of your way. No, he's going to squeeze you to death. Of course, that's going to happen. So I was happy that happened. That made me glad. I was glad for that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that whole. I was so checked out. I was like, "What movie am I watching? Is this still Godzilla versus Kong?"
I was confused with a lot of it. Just like, okay, we have to get in there, and then we needed Kong to lead us in there, which you really didn't. And
because they had built they built structures all the way to the portal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they get there, and then they just need to get this this energy sample or something, and then transmit the data so that then they could somehow use that data to create their own energy there, and on top of the world.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah,
it's a Godzilla spine.
Yes. Which I did like when I saw that. I was like, "Oh, that's sweet,"
Yeah, they hinted towards the wars of Kong and his Godzilla people, but apparently there weren't that big of wars because.
But outside of that, I mean, it was such a weird scene. I don't get it. And they basically lied to Kong. They're like, "Your family's in there, buddy." Wink, wink. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get my family," and runs in there. And I mean, his family isn't in there. He's just.
And they give him a brief. I think his sadness should have been a lot more than that. They give him a brief raw. and then nobody responds, but he's like, "Oh, Axe, I'm better now." It should have been a very touching moment right there.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. So much weirdness.
And then let's get to this fight here. Spoilers once again if you haven't watched it yet.
Are we going to start with the first one on the boat, or are we going to go all the way to the?
Oh, that was just unfair. Just, if on the water, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all Godzilla's territory. There's nothing I can do there because apparently there's nothing I can do at all. But so what happened in all the last 3 movies, which I just watched? Godzilla has to charge up his fire breath.
I guess he's gotten better at it.
I guess so. I guess he's evolved because all of a sudden that's out of the window when he has a real opponent, and he no longer has to. Because I tell you what, if Kong didn't have to bounce around, which he was hardcore parkouring with the best of them, if he didn't have to bounce around, then things would have been different. But,
yeah, some of those. But I was looking at I was trying to like rationalize the physics of it. I'm looking at Kong's meaty body, his huge freaking fist, and he slugs them. And he slugs them. Godzilla goes down, and then Godzilla gets up with his little Tyrannosaurus Rex like arms and just swats them, and Kong goes flying. So it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
some of the fights.
Agreed.
But the laser blast
and Kong actually retained damage, whereas Godzilla acted like nothing phased him at all.
Even
like he got hacked in the leg with his, it went in, and he had to rip it out. But nah, I'm still fine.
Even got blasted with Mecha Godzilla's blaster, whatever, later, and then just healed. Like it just turned red for a little while, and then it healed.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's one of Godzilla's abilities that I don't know about. He can absorb damage, and I don't know.
Apparently.
And then, oh god, I forget. Speaking of absorbing damage, this fucker, they never needed a portal to begin with because apparently this Godzilla could just blast a hole right to it through the earth. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
So now there's a hole to Hollow Earth right there in Hong Kong.
Yeah, with all those giant creatures and all that crazy stuff in there.
Who needs logic? We had a fight.
Yes.
Oh god, man, this one just irritated the heck out of me.
Like the little girl was like, "He's not your enemy; he's your friend." And Long's like, "Oh," he's like, "Really?"
Well, he just killed me, basically.
Yes, he did basically kill him and brought him back. But yeah, Godzilla is still the king.
Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
We need his help. We got to bring him back. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think they tried to throw too much in it. Like we said already, they had a story to tell, and they wanted to tell that story along with this fight. And I just don't. I think back in that Mecha Godzilla was too cheesy for what this series had been.
Yeah, it definitely stands out. It's kind of just hokey, and I was like thinking Gundam like the whole time, or I was thinking like Jaeger or something.
Yeah,
it's a Jaeger, yay!
And they basically did a Pacific Rim with him. Like they sink the pilot to the vehicle.
Yeah, I don't understand why it went like haywire crazy though. It was like
they never explained it.
Genetically it was still the creature, not the guy. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, they did not explain it.
Yeah.
And let's say they were so together so long that they were psychically linked. Even the one here, the one inside the Mecha Godzilla, and I guess that's supposed to be our take. It can still come back because they're psychically. Fuck you, get out of here. Oh man, and poor Millie, like. She had to run around like an idiot this entire fucking movie chasing a podcaster while the world is being destroyed. Like,
yeah.
Really?
That part of this other movie had no point. There's other than to introduce that Mecha Godzilla, there's no point. They didn't help with they didn't help with anything. They just helped set up some of the story, and then hung out
And her
with that.
dad was also useless.
Yeah,
Her dad didn't do anything.
Yeah, how does he have a job? I don't get it.
He was just there to show I'm still a parent. Look at me, check on my daughter.
That's
and then
bad,
that's
that's bad parenting though, because she sunk out of the house and disappeared for days.
And
And
went
he's
to
like,
Hong Kong.
so he goes to Hong Kong. That's just bad parenting.
Wow. And who's this fucking Kong whisperer? Where the fuck did she come from?
No, I have no clue. No. And Kong can talk now.
This is fucking lady who can control Kong. Yeah, man.
And I was I didn't like the ending either. Not the fight. Fight was cool, of course, if that's all you want to see. But the whole idea, she sets it up earlier in the movie like Kong bows to no one, but then of course he has to bow at the end, which sucked. No, didn't like seeing that. And then his reward is he gets to go live in Hollow Earth and swing from the vines, and
he can be king down there.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I mean, home was Skull Island. That's where his family was. I mean, were.
And it's like we've acknowledged that him and Godzilla have this understanding or whatever the fuck. Why can't he just go back to his Skull Island home now?
That's what make more sense to me. I don't know. I still like that. It's like I'm gonna go to this weird because how are they gonna do the next movie if they do another movie with Kong? It's like they got to start in Hollow Earth. We got to be in that weird floaty place.
Does he like?
Which reminds me of floating King Kong just doesn't look right. It just
doesn't
flying through the air like that. Just no.
And that's the thing. They set him up to be so intelligent in this movie, yet Godzilla just with his, like you said, the tiny arms and the everything, just nothing, just walked over him. So it's like, what was all that smart for? Like, why? He gets the one big hole, rip the top off the building, use it as a shield, grab the axe and smash. But other than that, we got nothing. Like.
Godzilla even turned his back to him, like roared at him, like, "You want some of this?" And he's like, "No," drops the axe, and he just turns his back to him and walks away.
You ain't gonna do nothing, I'm bad. Yeah.
But I guess Godzilla had to be smarter than what we're assuming, because he does shoot his beam into the axe when he needed to, right? Instead of shooting it into the back of the mecha, which what I was assuming was going to happen. But no, he shoots the axe to charge it up, so give Kong a better weapon.
So maybe he remembered, but it's like they kind of throw off their own logic too with that whole their people have been fighting for ages, because it's like, well, no, I guess they kind of picked that up in King of Monsters. Because we kind of led to believe at first that Godzilla's made from the nuclear tests and stuff. Mm-hmm. I guess he was more woken up from those.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to see that's the prequel I would watch. To get the Cogzilla Wars, Kong's people versus all that. Because when they go into that world down there's an axe and a Godzilla head. Yep. It's like, man, one of the Kongs took him out, but I guess King Kong couldn't do it. I don't know. I'm just what is Rotten Tomatoes about this one? Because I'm furious.
Yeah, well, they don't feel the same way I feel. The tomato meter is a 81%, nice red tomato. And the audience score 81%, 81, and the audience score is a 93%. So both the everybody loves it. Apparently, I don't get it. I guess they were going into it expecting to see exactly what they got. It was just a big blockbuster fight.
I don't know how you could expect that, because like that, a large chunk of this was gook. It was about as important as the word I just said. Like,
Godzilla versus Kong, the gook.
Because like you said, you take out that chunk with Millie, you take out the chunk of finding the fucking energy source to power Mecha, and you give us a good old fashioned brawl. Like maybe because you can still use the logic Godzilla or Kong He doesn't want to be in captive anymore, even though that just came out of nowhere. You can give us that logic, so they got to move him, and then that starts the fight. Then we just give us a brawl all over the world instead of we need an energy source to power our Mecha Godzilla because.
Yeah, it just went. I don't know. It's just not for me. It just went too far. And normally, I want something like that to go too far. But like I said, with these characters, I guess I just didn't. I wanted to see something more classic.
I would watch the movie without them. Just call it Versus. Take them both out. We're good. I don't know. Just Space Con going looking for different worlds because that's what they gave us for most of the movie. Look at him go! Look at him run! Oh, he's stopping the fight.
You can sure move.
That's literally a line from the movie, folks.
Also, when they were going down in there, didn't they start with 3 ships and then one of them gets destroyed?
Yes.
And then there's like 2 of them, and then they didn't even mention that. They're not like, "Oops, we lost our buddies." They just kept going. I'm like, no, they're there.
Got energy to find. Man. And then the guy whose whole, we're given this whole sob story. If you lost your brother, he was crushed by gravity. He gets down there and he has no anything. No, oh, it's real. I'm sorry, brother. Sorry you couldn't be here. No redemption arc at all. It's just, oh man, that's the energy source. Oh no, we're attacked. Let's get out of here. Nothing matters in this movie.
Yeah. I also didn't like how the mom took the little girl into danger all the time. She's just like, "You're coming with me, even though it's really, really scary, and this is going to suck, and you might die."
At least Dad was bad. She took her on a boat with a monster who more than a 99% chance is going to get hunted down by the most dangerous creature in the world.
Yep.
And then after that, after they get attacked, after they almost all drown, they get capsized. She takes her into an unknown world. Mm-hmm. And he explains that going down this vortex is like bungee jumping, but having the bungee cord attached to your intestines.
Yes.
This little girl had to go through that.
Yeah, I say bad parenting all around.
Wow.
Even the evil Apex guy, he's kind of bad dad too. Everybody was just bad.
PSA. Watch your kids better. Oh man. Even Kong's parents, they went off and died to a lizard monster. Mm-hmm. I guess. Oh man. Go watch or not for you, sir.
It depends on what you want. I'll put it that way. If you just want something stupid, yes. If you want substance, story, no.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the same thing because it is a perfect summer blockbuster movie. If you want to just go out there and do that. That's there. If you want to go out and do that, that's there. Insert words in that. But where you can find us. You can find us at Go Watch a Movie in the all new GoWatchAMovie.com, the one-stop shop for all things entertainment. And it truly is now, folks. You can move around it better. It's got more categories. The podcast is there. There are TV show recaps there. There are trailers there. There are news stories and movie reviews, and everything's there. The show that we will probably get back to at some point when I get more time is there. Just go there. Take a watchmovie.com. It's the one-stop shop for all things entertainment. I said that already, but it bears repeating. And like I said, that contest is going to start tomorrow. Other than that, I think that's it. Now I'm going to go cry in my tears from watching this movie. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Robert.
Go watch a movie.
Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety-split it. Go